A very pleasant morning to everyone. I'm sure this new day finds you all as fit as a fiddle, which means in good health. I hope the lesson taken yesterday was clear and you had enough time to revise what has been covered so far, and you are ready for the rest of the lesson to be taken today. I told you that I would like to begin the online classes every day with a food for thought. I thought of speaking to you about certain famous personalities, incidences, and experiences from the life of eminent personalities in order to boost up the level of your confidence, to boost up the level of your motivation. So, to begin with, today I would like to place before you a senator from United States named Mark Hatfield. He was a senator for 30 years, a well-experienced bureaucrat. And when he was a senator in US for 30 years, he had heard a lot about India, and especially the city called Kolkata. And he heard a lot about the city called Kolkata in the context of a woman who was called a living saint, Mother Teresa. And having heard a lot about Kolkata and the wonderful work that this lady was doing, he had a desire to visit her and to spend some time with this brave woman. And therefore he had scheduled a trip and he had informed Mother Teresa, and Mother Teresa welcomed him at the airport, brought him, and then showed him all types of work that she was engaged in taking care of the poor, needy, aged, old, sick, homeless, orphan. When Mark Hatfield had a personal experience of seeing the work that this lady was doing, he had one question in mind. He asked this question. He asked Mother Teresa, Mother, don't you feel awkward to work with this filthy and dirty people? Mother Teresa looked at Mark Hatfield and said, Sir, God has not called me to be successful. He has called me to be faithful. I repeat, God has not called me to be successful. He has called me to be faithful. It is this feeling of being invited to be faithful by God that keeps me going. It is this feeling of being called to be faithful to God that keeps me going, that makes me to stick to this dirty and filthy people. Dear students, it's a great lesson for all of us. God does not want all of us to be successful, but God wants us to be faithful. What does it faithful means? God wants you to be faithful to your duties, faithful to your studies, faithful to the little tasks that you do at home, faithful to your little prayer that you pray every day. It is in being committed to that which is given to you, you begin to nurture this virtue of faithfulness and fidelity. So wish you all a very happy day today, a day in which you will be faithful to your responsibilities. And when you are faithful, success will fall at your feet. We shall move on to the most important part of our online classes, that is the class test. So be ready, keep your copies open, and I will read the questions for you once, and after which you will be given 10 minutes. And I request all of you that you pause the video, complete the class test, and then continue with the rest of the video. I repeat, as soon as the questions are read by the teacher, You are requested to pause the video, complete the class test, after which you can continue to play the video in order to learn the rest of the lesson. Let me read the questions for you, the questions which are given for the class test today. Question number 1, which is the longest river in the world? Question number 2, list the advantages of Lenko's house being situated on top of a low hill. Question number 3, what were the feelings of Lenko as the hail rained for an hour and made the field white? Number 4, write the meaning of the following words: pesos, employees, career, correspondence, tapping, containing, contentment, wrinkling, affixed, bunch. So all the best. After you complete, then you continue with the rest of the audio and video. All the best. Just to brush up what we have seen, Lenko, the hero of the story, had a home which was situated on top of a low hill, and that gave an advantage of having an aerial view of the river as well as the field. And he had seen signs of promising harvest, and being so intimate with the land, he knew that a rain or two will make that promising harvest a reality. And therefore he was looking towards the northeast for the clouds and for the rain. And when he was at home discussing his predicament with his wife, the wife also consented. And as they were having the last meal of the day together as a family, the rain came down. And that was the time Lenko went out to feel the rain. His heart was filled with joy because what he predicted came true. And he was enjoying the rain, and he compared the big drops of rain to coins which had value. But his joy didn't last long, because the rain which began to come down in big drops slowly turned into hailstones. And that hailstone began to fall and fill the entire field. And this hailstone lasted not just for a few minutes but for an hour. Although the little kids went inside and collected all the hailstones like frozen pearls, but that calamity struck the fate and the future of Lenko. The 1 hour of non-stop hailstones removed everything from the face of the field. Not a leaf was left at the end of the calamity. Lenko, who predicted rain, was filled with joy when the rain came down. He never knew that it is going to be hailstones, and that is going to put a big question mark to his future, which just depended on a piece of land that he owned. And therefore sorrow enters into the heart and soul of Lenko, and therefore he is in great pain, having lost all his hope. But he had only one person in mind, that was God. Now we shall move on to the explanation of the text that we read yesterday. We have read from pages 5 to 7. I'll give you the gist of what we read yesterday on page 5. Since Lenko was filled with sorrow, the entire family was in grief. They looked very joyful just before the rain began, and as the rain came down, and even the hailstones, when it began to touch the face of the earth, there was a lot of joy. The little children were playing and collecting it as a frozen pearls. But when it lasted for 1 hour, it did a big damage towards their future. And it did hinder a livelihood, a means of livelihood for the entire family. And therefore Lenko's soul was filled with sorrow. He had no other hope except in one person called God. And he, as the head of the family, didn't want the entire family to just go down in grief. And therefore he wanted to pep up. He wanted to encourage the hearts of his sons and the family. So he told them, come on, we have not lost everything. We are not going to be hungry all the time. Okay, we have one person who will help us. That's called God. And Lenko was a strong believer in God. He deeply believed that God sees everything. God knows and God sees everything. A beautiful thing that all of us must learn. And he knew that God also knows this particular plight that has come down on his family. And although he was a farmer, he also knew how to read and write. And therefore he said, let me write a letter to God. And therefore he wrote a letter to God, trying to explain to him the plight of his family. And he requested God whether he could give him 100 pesos for the upkeep of the family until the new crops shoot up. So he had an idea of sowing the new seeds and then to manage his family until the crops come up. And therefore he wrote the letter, sealed the envelope, and then went and dropped it in the mailbox. And the postman picked up the letter, and he was looking for the address. Normally the postman looks for the address, and when he saw the address, it was addressed to God, a letter to God. And therefore he roared with laughter, because it's the first time that he is coming across such an address. And therefore he shared it with his co-employees in the post office, and everyone began to laugh and enjoy the fun. And therefore the letter written by Lenko became a means of laughter for the entire employees in the post office. But meanwhile, the tone of the postmaster changed, because he began to appreciate Lenko's faith. He said, come on, he's writing a letter with such seriousness, believing that God will certainly come to his aid, help. And therefore he came up with a novel idea that let's do some good deed. And therefore he requested the co-employees to chip in money, and they all began to chip in money, and he even contributed a major portion of his salary. And when he pooled the money together, it was about 70 pesos, little more than half of the money that Lenko requested God. So he sealed it in the envelope and kept it ready. Just he wrote a name, God, as a signature. And after a week, Lenko came back to the post office. He was very confident that God will reply. The moment Lenko showed off to the post office, the postman himself gave the envelope in the hands of Lenko. And meanwhile, postmaster, who was behind this entire act of charity, was just looking at it curiously, what is going to happen and what sort of reaction this Lenko is going to give. And as predicted, Lenko was very confident that God is going to respond to his request, and therefore he opened the envelope and he found some cash currency inside, and he began to count, and unfortunately the currency that was requested didn't tally with what was given, meaning to say he asked for 100 pesos, but he found only 70 pesos in the envelope. And therefore he thought for a while and said, come on, God cannot make a mistake. God would not make such a mistake. He's not foolish. And therefore he said, okay, there could be some people who played in between this particular process. So therefore he borrowed a paper from the post office, took another paper, and then wrote a letter telling God, please send me the balance. Balance is 30 pesos. But please do not send the balance by mail, by post. Please send it directly to me, because I feel that the employees in the post office are a bunch of robbers. So having listened to the explanation of the text from pages 5 to 7, it is better to check our comprehension. Okay, whether we have understood the storyline, whether we have understood the details of the story. So maybe you can take time, okay, you can take time either now or later to check your understanding of the story so far. We have almost finished all the explanation of the lesson, A Letter to God. The first question could be, Who or what did Lenko have faith in? What did he do? The second is, who read the letter? Third, what did the postmaster do then? Number four, was Lenko surprised to find a letter for him with money in it? Was Lenko surprised to find a letter for him with money in it? Fifth, what made him angry? So maybe if you find an answer for these questions, that simply means that you have understood the story. Please take time to do that. Okay, so it will just hardly take a few minutes for you to write down, scribble the answers, and that will be a proof that you have understood the storyline so far.